Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on the benefits of eDoc, one of a continuing series of educational webinars from WindowBook. My name is Monica Lundquist, and I am Postal Affairs Manager here at WindowBook. Assisting me today is Steve Dowdy, Mailing Industry Software Specialist. The specific agenda items that we'll be covering during today's webinar are as follows. First of all, what exactly is eDoc? We'll also talk a little bit about the PostalOne system. We'll be discussing the benefits, both to the Postal Service and to mailers, of using eDoc and PostalOne. We'll talk a little bit about why you should be using eDoc and the tools you need to process eDoc. Then we'll have a short demo showing how electronic documents are submitted using PostalOne, which Steve will be demonstrating for us. To understand the history of electronic documentation, it is helpful to review the Postal Accountability and Enhancement Act, or PAEA, which was passed by Congress in 2006. This act did a number of things to force changes regarding how the Postal Service operates and conducts business. Here's a few examples. PAEA provides more flexibility for the Postal Service to offer competitive pricing for its shipping services. It also allows the Postal Service to respond better to market conditions and the needs of its customers. It creates service standards that enhance the value of postal services by offering more consistent delivery. The Act also established the Postal Regulatory Commission, or PRC, which, along with Congress, watches over the Postal Service, particularly the service performance measurements. And most importantly to our subject today, the Act requires the Postal Service become SOX compliant, and this was required by the end of fiscal year 2010. And for postal purposes, their fiscal year ends in September. SOX is an acronym for Sarbanes-Oxley. You may be familiar with the name of this legislation, which was passed in 2002 by Congress. And this was done in the wake of the Enron scandal and other allegations of corporate wrongdoing. This act calls for much more rigid accounting and auditing requirements to help ensure visibility and accountability for financial transactions. It's helpful to understand this because if you want to know what will be required by mailers of the Postal Service, you need to know what is being required of the Postal Service. Essentially, what this act means is that the Postal Service is required to maintain more complete and more accurate data about the mail that they receive from the mailers. In order to do this, the Postal Service is asking for data that is not handwritten and, for ease of auditing, is available electronically. Although electronic documentation was available before SOX, its use was not prevalent, and this act really was the birth of the electronic documentation, or eDoc, system development. So what exactly is meant by the term electronic documentation, or is more familiarly known as eDoc? Essentially, this is the transformation of the mail acceptance process with the Postal Service from hard copy documentation to the submission of documents via electronic web services for business mailers. It provides for postal business to be conducted online with virtually no more hard copies of any mailing documents. Not only is this beneficial for improved accuracy and accessibility of data to meet the SOX requirements, it has the added benefit of reduced manual labor, both by the Postal Service and mailers. Probably the most important thing to note from today's webinar is to clear up a common misconception, and this is that eDoc is exclusively tied to Intelligent Mail Full Service. The fact is, business mailers can participate in eDoc with or without using Intelligent Mail. It is important to note that if you are using Intelligent Mail Full Service, eDoc is required and is not optional. Also, in order to take advantage of the Intelligent Mail Full Service discounts, you need to use the Intelligent Mail barcode and submit electronic documentation, both of which are requirements. Of equal importance, the Postal Service is now making eDoc a requirement of many of the incentive programs that are available to mailers. A recent example of this is the mobile barcode incentive, which is available from July 1st, 2011 through August 31st, the end of this month. This involves